Good morning, everyone. This is Karl F Rose recording from Bedford, Pennsylvania on Sunday, January 26th. And let me put in my disclaimer here. If you're 13 years old, you need to leave now. Again, if you're 13 years old, this is not kid content directed for kid content. So you need to leave this podcast now. Now let me start with my introduction music. Okay. If any of you have Comcast for a internet provider, you know that last Friday, the 24th, January 24th, 2020, many people were without internet for a minimum of 90 minutes. For me, it was more like 7 hours. The shutdown, there was a level 3 attack, and it happened at 10 o'clock in the morning. Me personally, I was not back up online until about 5 p.m. But there's good, bad, and ugly with this whole thing. Yay. Okay, it looks like this podcast is working good. I don't know what happened before, but I've been having problems with the audio on this podcast. So this is primarily a test, but this is going to work. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to the internet being down for 7 hours for me personally. Anyway, before I get going, if you like these podcasts, be sure to hit the and you're listening to this on my YouTube channel, be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button and the bell notification to get notified for all my podcasts. I also have a cat channel all about Job. I've got my podcast channel, Carl's Corner Podcast. Be sure to check those out. And I have links in the description of all my videos for other things I do, for various things I do. So be sure to check out all that in the description as well. Anyway, yes. Meanwhile, with the internet being out 7 hours, I thought it was going to be a disaster. And there's a lesson here. It was not the end of the world for me personally. It was a complete inconvenience because I wasn't able to start my editing and stuff until 5 in the evening, and I was doing things way late into the evening when I'm usually trying to do my reading and studying, and when I go into YouTube and learn things, because I have a set schedule. I'm going to do a video on that, on how to improve your YouTube channel and what I do and the time I allot for learning and that sort of thing. But that's for another video. I want to talk about this is what happened with Comcast and what we need to be prepared for. I'm the kind of guy, a lot of people who know me, I'm always talking about the nuclear war and nuclear bombs and atomic bombs and all that. Here's what I'm getting at with this internet being down. Was this intentional? They say it was a human error, and that part I believe. Now, was this intentional on Comcast? Were they doing a test? Were they seeing how people reacted? Whether you believe that or not, that's neither here nor there, and I'm not here to promote any conspiracy theories or anything like that. My thing is to prepare and to be ready, because if there is any kind of thing going on, basically what this pointed out to me is just how weak our infrastructure is all across the board, whether it's our electrical grid, whether it's our internet grid, whether it's even our roads and bridges here across the country. Here in Pennsylvania, the bridges are a nightmare. They're falling apart. And you would think that I think it was about 10 years ago when that major bridge collapsed in Minnesota, and it was during rush hour, and all those cars and stuff and went into the river, and a lot of people died. You would think that the administration during that time period and then following administrations, including this administration, would address this problem. This is terrible. I mean, you go and you really, due to Homeland Security stuff, you really can't go up to bridges really close or take pictures or go up there because just because it's suspicious but the joints, the things by the bridges, they're rusty, they're falling apart. It's a nightmare. If people were really to look at that, you would really scare a lot of people because and when you think of like California and the freeways and the earthquake danger, it's horrible. So what I'm getting at with the internet being down for 7 hours, that was an inconvenience. If I had to go to my bank, I could still walk to my bank. If I needed to get anything, I was in walking distance. But what I'm getting at is if power, especially what's going on with Iran and that sort of thing, if they decide to do, and I'm not talking about an EMP where there's a nuclear thing's used, if there's going to be attack, and they do via hacker and shut off all the electricity and that sort of thing, and shut off our grids, that would be probably worse than a nuclear bomb. And that's really the point I'm getting at. Because if you shut off the electricity, just think of it. Your food's you won't have any, you can't even flush the toilet. You can't, you can't open and close your refrigerator. No internet, no banking. Your cars won't work. Well, that would be an EMT, but a lot of things. If the power goes down, and then you can't, and then people can't, and then the people the elderly and disabled people who are on devices that they need to live, and the electric shuts off and they die. It's that. What I'm getting at is, be prepared. I personally think that if there's going to be a major attack, it's going to be something more sinister, and it won't be obvious like a nuclear attack. It's going to be something within our infrastructure, and they're probably working behind the scenes. And this thing with Comcast, I learned a lot of being without the internet for 7 hours, and I just want to just say that I think all of us need to be prepared, including myself. I learned a lot of things. I was able to get a lot of non-internet stuff done, but I also learned how unprepared I was for that I was in case of a natural disaster. Even a natural disaster comes by and knocks everything out. I found out in that 7 hours of time, I found out just how unprepared I was. So just take this as a reminder. Be prepared, because you never know what's going to happen today, tomorrow, an hour, 5 minutes an hour, or anything. But I learned a big lesson, and I just wanted to pass that off. And let me just close off with the music, and we will talk to you next week. Okay. All right. Goodbye. Have a good